Do you always like or even need to be involved in a group activity? Do you feel kind of sad or uneasy when you are left out of the group and you don't know when the action is happening? If so, stick around to the end of this video because there's a phrasal verb for you. In the meantime, get ready for this next installment of these crazy phrasal verbs. Hi, I'm Phil. Thanks for joining me. I teach here at Mayak in the Czech Republic, and I'm glad to teach you a few phrasal verbs that I teach with my own students right here. Let's get right into the content. We'll start with the first one. Make fun of. Make fun of. Make fun of is to ridicule or tease someone. Like ha 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 ha. Ridicule or tease someone. It doesn't feel good. So a child who is being made fun of will say, "Don't make fun of me. It makes me feel bad. Don't make fun of me. It makes me feel bad." Next we have makeover. Makeover. It means to improve something by changing it or fixing some of the parts somehow of the thing. Often we hear it with appearance. There are TV shows, lots of them, that talk about giving someone a makeover or making someone over. You can say, the stylist made her over yesterday in the salon. The stylist made her over yesterday. Or it could be in a different situation, still to improve some part of this thing. The senator needs to make over his image. The senator needs to make over his image. It means the senator has a pretty bad image or a bad reputation, and he needs to do some fixing on that reputation, on that image. Next, make up. Make up. It means to invent a story or imagine, to make it up. The kids were really using their imaginations yesterday when they made up this big story with lots of characters just as we were walking along the street. This isn't just a pretend example. My son is exactly like this. He could make up a story in an instant, and it's this elaborate thing that he's just made up from his own mind, from his own imagination. Now we can add a word to this one, make up with. Make up with. This means to end a disagreement and to become friends again with someone. To end the disagreement and become friends with someone again. They were really angry with each other, but quickly they made up with each other and now they're talking every day again. They were angry with each other, but they quickly made up with each other and now they talk every day again. Let's switch the word with and make it for. Make up for. Make up for. What could this mean? To make up for something is to do something that corrects a bad situation or a bad thing. To do something that corrects the bad thing. Often we hear with a younger worker, maybe an intern, her enthusiasm makes up for her lack of experience. Her enthusiasm makes up for her lack of experience. It means she doesn't have experience and she can't change that, but she's enthusiastic about the job or about this thing. And so if she's enthusiastic, it makes up for the thing that she doesn't have. Okay, hold on for a second. I'm going to take us down a much deeper road, but it's another typical way that the phrase make up for is used, even if it's not a great situation. Some people could say, nothing can make up for the loss of a loved one. Nothing can make up for the loss of a loved one. And with this, I would like to take a deeper moment. I've had some deep losses, some deaths in my family in the last few years, and they're hard. They're just hard. And there are some people in very good kindness. They have good motivation. They want to help me. And they want to say, well, at least you have a big family, or at least this, or at least this. But when you have experienced a real loss in your life, at least doesn't work, because nothing can make up for the loss of a loved one. And sometimes we just need people to say, oh, that's really hard. That must be so difficult. I don't even know what you're going through, but I'm here for you. But that's just hard. So if that's you today, I would like to be the one today to say to you, I'm sorry. I know how hard losing someone has been in my life, so I guess it's probably pretty hard in yours. And I'm sorry. If you can, I hope you can take time to grieve that loss and just be sad for the thing that has happened to you. Switch gears again. We have an entirely different word here. We have two actually that I would like to do at the same time. Major in or minor in. Major in, minor in. What could these be? Or what context could these be in? I'll give you a hint. It's school. The context is school. In fact, I would even say university. Does that give you a hint? So to major in something means to choose one area of study as your main area of study. That's to major in something. To minor in something means to then choose a secondary type of study, and that will be secondary to your main one. So you've got a major and a minor. Or you're majoring in something and you're minoring in something. For me, at university, I chose to major in elementary education and minor in music. So I majored in elementary education and I minored in music. Some people don't have a minor, so they don't minor in anything. They just have a major. Some students at university haven't yet chosen a major. They still need to find a major. The next one, make out. Make out. With make out, we've got multiple definitions, and they're all pretty typical, pretty common, so I'd like to go through them, but maybe a little bit quickly. So the first one with make out is to manage with some difficulty to see or hear something. To manage with some difficulty to see or hear something. Like it's not very clear whether you're hearing it or seeing it. So I can hear the voices in the distance, but I can't really make out what they're saying. I can hear the voices in the distance, but I can't make out what they're saying. There's something happening, but it's not clear to me what they're saying. Or visually, I could just make out a figure in the bushes and he was coming toward us. I could just make out a figure in the bushes coming toward us. So I don't know who it is. It sounds like the beginning of a horror story, right? Somebody you can't quite make out in the bushes, maybe in the darkness. It's not clear, but somebody's coming toward me. So if you just can barely make it out, it means you can just barely see it or hear it. You can also use it to see how well somebody is doing on a specific task or assignment, or how well they're doing just in life. So you can say, so how are you making out on this assignment? Or how are you making out in life? How are you doing? How are things going for you? This is what this means. And another one I'd like to share with you is one that you might have seen in movies and TV shows, just in pop culture in general. It means kissing, hugging, caressing a lot. Two people romantically kissing and hugging a lot. I live in Europe, and it is pretty common, I would say, that especially in the evening as I'm going home and I'm at a bus stop or a tram stop, I often will see some teenagers making out at the bus stop. That means they're just standing there and kissing each other a lot, and sometimes I'm trying to look for my bus time or when is the next tram going to come, and I can't because there's people making out in front of the sign. Next we have mail out. Mail out. This means to send something out by post, usually like a bigger mailing to a bigger group of people, but it also could be just a letter from your house. So we need to mail our newsletter out soon. That probably means to a bigger group of people. It's a newsletter. Or I have a letter at home that I need to mail out. It just means to send it by the post, but it's a different way to say it. So if you catch yourself always using the same word, send, use a different word or a phrasal verb, mail out. The last one today is miss out. Miss out. It means not being able to experience or just failing to take advantage of an opportunity. Maybe in your town or your city, you've seen some advertisements. Don't miss out on this opportunity to speak English with a native speaker. Don't miss out on this opportunity. In fact, on many types of flyers, you will see phrases that are something like this. Don't miss out. You want to take advantage of this opportunity. Or somebody could say, if you haven't tried this recipe, you're really missing out. If you haven't done this thing, you're really missing out. Like if you don't do this thing, this activity, this opportunity, you will miss it. You will wish that you would have done this thing. So we'll say, you will miss out. You are missing out. Not only do I have this phrasal verb for you, but I have an acronym for you. FOMO. FOMO. F-O-M-O. Do you know what FOMO means? FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. The fear of missing out. Do you have this? Is this you, or is this somebody that you know you're always afraid that you're missing out on some big activity that everybody else is doing? These types of people will always choose to gather with other people because they're afraid that if they don't, they'll miss out on the people, they'll miss out on the activity, the group experience. They never want to be away from where that big group of people is because they'll miss out on it, and they're afraid of it. So the next time you know somebody that does this, or you do it yourself, you can say, hey, I've got FOMO, or you have FOMO, the fear of missing out. Thanks for joining me today and practicing these crazy phrasal verbs. Find one or two of these today that you can either write or speak to somebody else and use it in real life, because I promise these are very usable phrasal verbs. So take the time today to find a way to use it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.